Hey, this is Neil Ronahan from Nintendo World Report TV, and I'm joined by Jared Rosenberg.
Hey Neil, how's it going?
It's going really good. We're here on this lovely Memorial Day to talk about Super Mario Maker 2, which we got to play at an event in New York City last week. We got to see kind of a sampling of everything. Jared, going into this event, where were you feeling about Mario Maker 2?
I was very positive about the game, but I also didn't know what to expect, how many new things they would be adding. Of course, the Direct showed us that there's a ton of new stuff, but my expectations were high, but not crazy in the stratosphere.
Yeah, I think I was excited for it. It's an inevitability that I would get this game and enjoy it. After that Direct, over the moon. Quite literally, because now there's a moon that you can place in levels. It can drop you 1-ups. I was very, very excited to go check it out and play it, because after that Direct, I was very ready for Mario Maker 2. So we'll start off with what we saw first, which we saw the story mode, which that's brand new for Super Mario Maker 2. The way that works is that we weren't able to see the introduction cutscene, but Peach's castle is knocked down, and you, as Builder Mario, has to complete various jobs to get coins, and I guess give time for builders to work to help rebuild the castle. There are 100 stages, all made internally at Nintendo, and from what we saw, it's got kind of a little bit of a weird progression. How would you kind of call the progression that we saw from the early stages of the game?
So it's very different. You might remember, Mario Maker on 3DS was the first one to have courses built by Nintendo, the 100 courses, same kind of thing. And the way they're doing progression is very different. In that one, it was straightforward. You play level after level and you just keep going. There was no story mode. This one, you have a choice this time. You play, I guess, the first few, there was 4 courses that were available. And then it's basically the courses you unlock is decided by which wing or part of the castle you decide to build next.
Yeah, because it seems like you start off with the same. It's a course made by Goomba Lover. It has a lot of Goombas in it. I feel like it might have been made by a Goomba, but we don't know for sure. But then from that, then it's kind of so you have that one level, and then you'll unlock 3 more that you can go play.
Right.
And you basically just need to play 2 of them to then complete building the foundation for the castle. Then from that point, you have the choice of the main hall, the east hall, and the west hall. The main hall costs 600 coins to build. The 2 wings each cost 400 coins. And then you get 5 more courses to choose from. If you go to build one of them, then you'll unlock even more courses. And presumably, the amount of, you would have different courses that would be unlocked when you build the main, the east, or the west hall. So you can kind of choose your directions, so to speak. And even if there's a course type that you don't want to do, if you're someone who's super anti New Super Mario Brothers, you could try to just avoid playing those levels as you go through it. And what kind of stood out to me with the story mode is that it just does a very good job of introducing you to different mechanics and kind of inspiring you, which seems to be a lot of the goal of this game in general. It's not so much of enjoy the play, it's here's an idea of how to use the Super Mario 3D World mechanics, which are brand new here. Here are some ideas of how to do this. Now go make your own.
100%. And it's sort of fun. I feel like traditionally you didn't have to really collect coins in Mario games, but once again, other than, New Super Mario Bros. 2. But
yeah, underrated, I'll add. I like New Super Mario Bros. 2. A good deal.
But you're greatly encouraged to be collecting coins at every single level you're playing, because now you're using that to unlock the new areas and build the castle up.
Yeah, and you also get coins for level completion, so while collecting coins in stages is helpful because it gives you more wiggle room and more money to use, it's not 100% necessary. You just might have to play every single stage in order to get what's in front of you. But the Nintendo representative there did kind of talk about the story mode being, everybody's going to have a different path through it because you can kind of choose your own direction and build the castle in whatever order you desire. Although it does seem like it might build choke points where maybe you get the first floor of the castle built and then you'll have to play one specific course in order to unlock the second floor or something like that, which to me seems totally fine. So I guess some last notes on the story mode, like you kind of, what is it? It's kind of like you can circle around and there's NPCs to talk to in kind of that base area where you're rebuilding the castle. We didn't get to see too much of the NPC talk. Like, you basically just went to one person to get new jobs, and then went to another person to then build the castle. Presumably more things will be added as you go along. I know from the Direct they showed off, like, Mr. Racer and Undo Dog as NPCs that you can talk to, which I am all about. I look forward to seeing that.
I've always wanted to talk to Undo Dog.
Yeah, like, what's he... How's he feeling? What's his story? I want the untold Undo Dog story.
Let's go.
Moving on to level creation, I'll just say the first thing is gonna take a while to get adjusted to button controls, because I don't think the touchscreen is gonna be what I hoped it was, in a way. There's a lot of bad things that could be said about the Wii U, but it was the perfect system to play Mario Maker on. And I just don't think that... I don't think that the touchscreen on the Switch is really the same in that it's capacitive, and yes, you could have a stylus, but then that kind of ruins the portability aspect of it. And it's also telling that in every other region except for America, they are selling a stylus with the game.
Yeah, the touchscreen controls, it was so intuitive and worked so well with the Wii U version. Even though the controls haven't changed that much when you're doing touchscreen mode, it does seem something is lost that you can't just like look up at the screen on the television.
And it's also, I mean, like my fingers aren't the same as a stylus. And yeah, I could just get a stylus. Maybe I'll just buy a capacitive touchscreen stylus and use it with Mario Maker and I'll be fine. But it was already all there in the Wii U version. I will say, so the button controls are weird, but I think that might be how I wind up playing the game the most. So, like, the one thing that kept on tripping me up outside of not knowing what every button did, because there are a lot of shortcuts baked into that, but it's like, okay, like, I guess if I think the Y button opens up the menu, all the radial menus, and, like, once you kind of learn that shortcut, that's really easy. But then, like, there's a lot of stuff going on the screen at once. The one thing that kept on tripping me up, though, was, so if you have a cursor, you have like the Mario hand, I hope you can change it to a cat paw. You had the Mario hand that you could then like move around the course and drop stuff in. If you go to the sides, how they kind of have like all around the border, there's menus there. When you go to the sides, it just scrolls the level instead of letting you access those buttons, which just like it took me a while to kind of bake that into my head that in order to access those menus on the border, you need to like tap the D-pad in that direction, which makes sense after a while. There's just a learning curve for the button controls. And I think that as time goes on, that's probably how I'm going to make most of my levels. I just need to learn the shortcuts, learn the tricks about it. Like, I think I kept on hanging up a little bit. You can probably notice it in our footage. Like, trying to, when you like hold down to select an enemy or an item and then change it to another one. I forget exactly what I was doing wrong, but I think you like hold it down, then release, and then you can like move around that little sub menu. And I kept on just holding down the whole time. But it's just little things like that are examples of why I'm acknowledging that there's going to be a learning curve for creating levels in Super Mario Maker 2. I think I will be totally on board of it after more than 15 minutes with the creator, which is just about all we had.
I have a feeling in the full game there will be a lot more tutorial text popping up all the time, like when you first play the game, because I sort of feel like, I mean, we can't say for sure because I don't think that stuff was popping up then, but I think it was probably already unlocked. But so
yeah, so yeah, you can check out. That's the only part of it that we were able to capture direct feed. Probably while you're listening to this. If you're listening to it on YouTube, you could be seeing that footage right now, or you can just check the rest of it over at Nintendo World Report TV. I tried to make use of the side objectives, or I guess they're not side objectives. Oh, yeah, I guess just the objectives in general, of doing one where like you had to stay in the air. That I don't think I was under time constraints. I don't think I totally figured out how to do that optimally, but I just love that stuff's there, and I can't wait to mess around with it.
that is going to make really fun courses. I assume I'll be like searching just for like levels using that exact objective. Like I don't want to fall on the ground. Let me juggle my Mario character in the air as long as I can.
Yeah. And that takes us to Course World, which we got to see a little bit of it. It was pre-populated by internally developed or internally created Nintendo levels. And Course World that's the online component where you can go and look for stages that people shared online. It's fine. Like the sorting and searching seems to be totally good. You can sort by theme. You can like theme is in like, you know, Mario 1, Mario 3, etc. And also theme is in like castle, ground.
At least the way things are sorted for the online mode, I feel like that's not... It's pretty similar to the way things were sorted out in the first one.
Yeah, I just think it's easier to search and sort because from what I remember, you could do that on like the web applet that they made, but you couldn't really do it in the game.
Right.
Which, like, yeah, there's the whole tagging systems there, and it seems to be doing the job right. It's a little hard to totally grasp all that stuff until it's the actual real environment, which I understand, like, that's impossible to do when the game is not out. But like all the tools are there that make it seem totally fine.
During our short time, I've thought the multiplayer was amazing. Like I wasn't expecting the local multiplayer to be that fun. I think it's a really big. Once again, the objectives are something that are found in the multiplayer mode. So you can either play cooperatively, or you can be playing a game where first person to reach the goal wins. And that was, I think, is that the first time that's been in a Mario game, or the first time since Mario Brothers Deluxe on Game Boy Color?
I mean, I think they've had elements of that. Like, in some of the multiplayer stuff, I seem to recall in New Super Mario Bros. U, you did have some kind of 4-player, more cooperative challenges than just traditional levels. I don't know if they got super competitive. I think it might have been, like, whoever had the most coins or something like that.
Right.
But not to this level. And this really does remind me of Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, because with the ability to create levels, you can kind of go in there and craft those courses in a similar way as Mario Brothers Deluxe. Like, one thing that I remember from that is that there were, like, the switches you could trigger on and off to, like, make blocks so that way it would, like, lock out other players. Mm-hmm. And you could totally set that up in Super Mario Maker 2, which is awesome. If I did have... I have some notes about the multiplayer, which is one, you can't play online with friends, which is a real big bummer. You can only do it global matchmaking with randoms. And my other note is that it's kind of hard to discern what exactly is a competitive multiplayer match and which one is a cooperative one. They seem to be kind of like it's just hard to know like exactly how I'm supposed to play this course. And maybe that was also had more to do with the fact that we were at the event and like we had a little bit of a limited time. But it seemed a little difficult to sort those all out.
Well, it's also a little weird. So I know many of the multiplayer courses we played had the objective where you had to collect a certain amount of coins, or like all the coins in the level before you could get to the goal. So like we would be playing competitively where it's like first person to the goal, but then also as a team we had to collect all the coins. So like at first, basically for the entire level, we're working together collecting all the coins, and then at the last like 15 seconds at the goal, it's like first person who can get to the goalpost. So it was a little strange.
And that was still super fun. Like I had a blast during every single moment of the multiplayer. It was goofy and lighthearted. They do have what's going to be like a global leaderboard system. So if it's hard to discern like what's what, it's going to make that leaderboard system a little wonky. But once again, it's a hard thing to not know until we see it in practice, and we're not really going to be able to see that until the game is in our hands. So it is like maybe my concerns about the difference between cooperative and competitive multiplayer are a little premature, maybe. I do think my concerns about the lack of online multiplayer with friends, like that sucks.
I wonder if it's something I feel the first Mario Maker didn't have that much DLC support after the fact, but I wonder if part of that reason is because the team probably almost immediately jumped into making Mario Maker 2. I wonder if this time around, maybe some of the things that are missing, like being able to play with friends, if there's enough of an outcry, maybe they will add that in. Who knows?
Yeah, like, I would assume, I mean, we could have more themes, like the 3D World one could be added with future updates. And they did have a couple things, like they added keys, I remember, and they kind of tweaked that, that unlock method, which that's one thing we didn't mention earlier. According to Nintendo, the overwhelming majority of tools will be available at the start. I tried to get answers to be like, okay, so what isn't available at the start? And no one would really tell me. But one thing that we've seen in the Direct, and then we got to see happen in real time, is the whole thing with the angry sun, and then if you turn to the moon, then you unlock the night stages of every theme. So that's one element that is not available at the start, but is also super easy to unlock. And it might not be something like, oh, you have to play every day for a week to unlock everything. It could just be like, oh, you stumbled upon this new mechanic. Like, have fun. Any final thoughts on Super Mario Maker 2?
Once again, after playing the multiplayer, I would have never even imagined the Mario Maker would be a really exciting local multiplayer game, but I imagine I'm going to be playing a whole lot of that now. And yeah, I'm still really curious to see what else they have hidden in this. It's about time we had slopes. I'm excited to do slide down stuff.
Yeah, I think we're kind of in the same boat. One thing that I think about the multiplayer that makes it better in Mario Maker 2 than, New Super Mario Bros. Wii or U, is those are all, they did have side modes and stuff, but like, it's hard to just be like, it's a party game night, let's play a couple levels from the second world of New Super Mario Bros. U. Like, that's not as engaging, because you kind of like, if you get a team together and you're gonna like play through that game, that's awesome. But with Mario Maker 2, it does seem very easy to just be like, alright, I got 4 people, let's just go roll in and play a couple levels. And then like we'll have some fun and then move on. It seems like a good match for the Nintendo Switch, which makes sense since it's coming to that system in about a month's time. So I am very, very excited for Super Mario Maker 2. Jared, I know you are as well, and I assume that you listening on the YouTubes or elsewhere, you are also very excited about Mario Maker 2. So let's all be excited together. Get ready to hear whatever, final bits of information we're going to get over the final month. And then get ready to, hang out, make some levels, play some multiplayer, and create. It's a month away. I'm really excited, and I hope you are too. Thanks for watching and listening to us talk about Super Mario Maker 2. You can check out my written preview on NintendoWorldReport.com. We also have other videos going up on Nintendo World Report TV. You can support us over on Patreon, patreon.com/NWR. Helps us keep the lights on, and we're going through a whole big relaunch thing of that, where we're gonna have a lot of exclusive podcast content. And hey, it might be like, I don't know, guys from RFN playing Mario Maker 2. Who knows? That could be a thing, and they could talk about it for the Patreon. Who knows? Anyway, I am Neil Ronahan, and that is Jared Rosenberg. And thank you so much for watching.
Thanks, guys, for watching.